Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn. Now this coming weekend, I have 4 friends coming for the weekend. So we're going to have a girlfriend's weekend. In a recent video, I showed you how to make a chip bag because I made these for us for the upcoming weekend. In another video, I'm going to show you how I will etch our initials on these glasses so we'll know whose is whose. And in this video today, I made this little summer towel that we can have outside while we're cooking out and having drinks. This is a towel that came from the Dollar Tree store. So this is a super inexpensive project. I made the design Summer Vibes in Inkscape. That's a free design software. I printed it out on sublimation paper with sublimation ink, and then I pressed it onto this 100% polyester towel. So it's on this side as well as this side. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this, keep watching the video. Before we get started though, I just have to make my plug that if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, then tap the bell and let YouTube know you want to be notified for all new videos I upload. I truly appreciate all the support you guys give me through subscribing, likes, comments, using my Amazon links, and much, much more. Now, on with the video. I'm going to make a really simple design in Inkscape for my towel. So I open Inkscape and I have my template set to 12 by 12. That's my default. So I need to change that to a letter size piece of paper since that's what I'll be printing on. So I went up to File, come down to Document Properties, then I'm going to select US Paper, but I want it to be in Landscape, so I'll click on Landscape. Now right here, units, yours might be set to something else. Yours might be in millimeters. If it is, and you want to use inches, just click on it, drag your cursor up, and release. Now all I have to do is go up, hit the red X, and I have what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and make that larger. I'll zoom in. I do that by holding down the Shift button and hit the plus sign. Now the only thing I'm going to do is add text. So I'll go over here to the text tool and I will click on it. Then I'll click over here on my document. And I'm going to type the words Summer Vibes. Now I definitely don't want this font. So now I'll go over here to Text and Font. If this panel didn't show up over here, then you could click up here and click on Text and Font. That'll open the Text and Font panel. Or, since my panel's open, I could click right there and it would do the same thing. I know what font I want. I want to use Homework. So just scroll down to it, click on it. You can see a preview here and I'll say Apply. Now I'm still in the Text tool. To change the size, what I need to do is select it. So I'm going to go up to the Select tool, click on it, and it's selected. I have 2 ways of changing the size. I could either drag it, or I could type what size I want up here and the width and the height. Now, I want to keep the proportions locked, so I'll click on this and I'll lock it. Now let's just drag this a lot larger. With my towel being 15 wide, and I could print up to 11, I think I'll do 10.5. Now, if I had 8.5 by 14 in my printer, I could print wider, but I've measured on my towel, and 10.5 wide I think will be great. So I like that, but I would like it to be a little bit more bold. Notice there's no bold here. So if you are printing only, there's 2 ways to do that. If you're ever going to cut this file, then I recommend doing the second way I'll show you. So the first way, for printing only, not for cutting, would be go over here to Fill and Stroke, and then click over here on Stroke, and let it know you want a solid stroke. Now let me X out. Watch the size of the letters. I got rid of it. I added it. Let's say I want it to be thicker yet. I can increase it right here. And you can increase it in whatever increments you want. Now that is not the best way to do this. That's just a bandage to be able to print something very easily. To me, here's the appropriate way to do it. Now, first of all, let me change that stroke color so you can see what happens. If you ever use this file, even if everything was black and it looks like it's all solid, if you ever use this file to cut something, everywhere you see in red would cut. You'd cut your letters apart, your stroke would get cut off, and so that's why I say just go the extra step and do it the correct way. Now let me show you what that correct way is. Typically before I do it, I'd get rid of the stroke, but I'm going to leave the stroke on there just to show you what happens. There's 3 steps, and basically we're doing the same thing as welding in Cricut Design Space. With both words selected, you're going to go Path, Object to Path. Now it looked like they went away, but you still have cut lines here and here. Now you're going to go to Object, Ungroup, and then all we're going to do is go to Path and Union. Now you have to follow those 3 steps to get rid of the cut lines in between. And if I blow this up even more, you can see they're gone. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my stroke so that I just have my solid black fill. Okay, now that this is an actual path, to make it thicker, I can go to Path, click on Outset, and all that does is thicken it up. If I want to do it multiple times to get it a lot thicker, I can do that. Okay, I think that looks good, and I'm still only a little over than 10.5, so this can print. Now with sublimation, you have to make sure that this is printed in the mirror image. So I'll select it again, go to Object, flip horizontal. Then I want to print 2 of these, one for each end of my towel. So I'll do Command C for copy, Command V for paste. So I'll go ahead and print this out. I'm going to use printer's jack with the blue backside, and then we'll jump over to the heat press. I have my heat press set to 385 for 45 seconds. But before I press this, I want to go ahead and pre-press my towel to remove any moisture. Now this towel looks like it's been sublimated before. So I want to protect everything, my press, my Teflon sheets, with butcher paper. So again, I'm just going to pre-press this for 15 seconds. Now you might be able to see there's some red in a few areas on this piece of paper. So now this paper is trash. Now sometimes when you press things, the lines around the paper show up. So what some people will do is rip around the design to try to decrease the thickness of the paper on the edges. The other thing I like to do, if I just printed my image within the 10 minutes or so before I'm going to use it, is I like to put it on the heat press, just bring the platen over it. Of course you don't press this down. Leave it there for about 10 seconds to help that ink really dry. Also, you want to make sure that that's cool enough that when you put your design down, it's not going to start sublimating. Because if you don't have it in the right place, it can cause some ghosting when you move it. Now, because of the issue with this towel being sublimated once, when I press it, I'm going to move it to the end of the press. That way I don't have to waste so much butcher paper on top of it to protect my platen. So now I'm going to press this for 45 seconds. I could have used some tape on that to make sure it didn't shift. With more expensive things or things you're selling, I would definitely do that. But with this Dollar Tree towel, it's going to be just fine. So to lift my platen, I like to put a little pressure on it so it doesn't jump. Then you don't want that paper shifting around. Again, this is so hot that if my sublimation paper shifts, it's probably going to cause some ghosting. So for that reason, I hold my design down with my left hand that has a heat glove. Then I'll just quickly lift my design up. And of course, because my towel was off the platen, it fell. But let's see what it looks like. Now it may look like there's some stray ink because the seeds on the watermelon are right here, but there's not. That looks really cute. So I'll go ahead and do the other end. Well, there's our final product, guys. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Until my next video. Bye-bye.